everyone. Welcome into our Sunday evening edition of Regional Weather Live. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you had a nice weekend. Air quality isn't good outside. It's back, wildfire smoke. So we're going to talk about how long that's going to last. We've got some current air quality numbers right now. You notice the haze outside. It looks like it's foggy. It smells like someone's barbecuing, but not like the good stuff. Like smells like they're barbecuing the woods. Okay, not good. So we'll talk about that. Also, I want to look ahead to some storm chances we have this week. There aren't many. There's a little window tomorrow that we're going to have to watch, and then we'll keep an eye on later this week. And then we'll go long range and talk more so temperatures as we go through next weekend as well. Okay. Mark's with us. Good morning to you, buddy. Good evening to you, Gail. Different sleep schedules. Jeff's with us this evening. Christina, good evening to you. Debbie, thanks for joining us tonight. I got to share Tom's comment here. He says, "Can I get free medical care in Canada for my irritated eyes?" My goodness, it's back. Carl, hello to you as well. Rhonda, good evening to you. The gang's all here. Hey, Chris, happy Sunday evening to you. As always, guys, want to thank our sponsors. They keep this show for free, and I debuted some of the new software we have for tracking storms. Oh, I'm in heaven. It's great. All thanks to our sponsors. We've got Tiger Plumbing at the top there, tigerplumbing.net. They never, ever charge a trip fee. If you need a plumber, guys, please use Tiger Plumbing and tell them we sent you. So many of you have. They are just so tickled by the business that we have with Region Weather followers. And our Region Weather folks are so happy about them, too. They found a new plumber, but they don't charge to come on out, which is awesome. They're just cool people. They do a great job. So if you need anything plumbing-wise, tigerplumbing.net. PSA, our second one there. May not be familiar with that. That's Public Service Adjusters of Northwest Indiana. And I'll tell you, it's an interesting business because if you ever have a claim, an insurance claim on anything related to your yard or your home or anything like that, you can take care of it yourself, or you can go with PSA, which is a smart thing to do. They're all licensed insurance adjusters that are local. They'll provide estimates for you, and they communicate with your insurance company so you don't have to. And what they do is get your full value of what you need for whatever happened. Versus you doing it on your own. Insurance company comes back, and then what do you do with the number you give you? You can't do much with that. And they represent you through the whole process, which is awesome. All right. So again, it's Public Service Adjusting LLC. They're all local. Right below that, we've got stjudehouse.org, our nonprofit. They provide help around domestic violence, which isn't a pretty thing to talk about, but a lot of people surprisingly go through that. They're doing great work to curb that and to get victims help. All residential, non-residential services are confidential and absolutely no cost, which is awesome. Domestic abuse can be physical, emotional, verbal, financial. If you know someone that's going through it, let them know that stjudehouse.org exists. You get more information on their website. They've got an awesome mobile advocacy program where they're getting out and meeting people where they need to be met, which is great. Finally, last but not least, Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso, our favorite car dealership. Jeep season is in full swing right now. A lot of Jeeps out there. If you don't have a Jeep, or if you've got a Wrangler, you know the symbol that they give each other. They give each other a little peace symbol when they drive by. And I'll tell you, you'll have that peaceful service as you go to Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. They make car buying fun. So pay them a visit if you're in line for a new Jeep, and they have other cars too, obviously. Dodge Jeep Ram. There you go. Okay, let's jump into the forecast here. Let me share this with you so we can take a look at this. Maxwell says his throat has been burning. Oh, my goodness. It's been just awful. Debbie's with us. Hi, Debbie from Valpo. It's morning somewhere. I like that. Mary's with us too. Very good. Happy Sunday evening, guys. Here's a look at the map right now. You'll notice two very, very distinct things going on in the country right now. This is all heat. We've got excessive heat warnings, heat advisories. It is hot out west, all right? Newsflash, it is summer too, okay? So is this blockbuster record heat? A lot of it is. It is really hot out towards the west. Phoenix is going to set an all-time record for number of days above 110, and they'll probably exceed that by several days. Death starting to go up the west coast. So it's out there. It's also down in Texas. You saw Miami. I don't know if you saw on the news. They had their first ever excessive heat warning issued for Miami. They've got humidity with that heat as well. But just real hot stuff down to the south. This dome of heat has really expanded and become its own. I know there's not a lot of news flash headlines around this, climate crisis, chaos, all this stuff. I just want to put it into perspective. Yes, it's hot, and yes, it's record heat for a lot of people. But this ridge is in part due to the trough that's coming into areas of Hudson Bay and eastern Canada. All right. Need I remind anybody, because this isn't making the news, areas of northern Minnesota today had high temperatures in the upper 50s. Okay. There is some seriously cool air in northern Canada right now. And as that came down, it lifted this ridge and is causing the extremes. So you've got both extremes. Whenever you have a big ridge and a big trough, you have extremes on both ends. And that's the weather pattern we're in right now. It happens to line up with historically the hottest time of the year, which is right now. Our highest average highs are right now. Okay, this is our hottest week of the year climatologically, and then we slowly start to cool off. You know how that goes as we get in August. We still get very hot days, but all that kind of lining up. So I always want to give you perspective. It's not doom and gloom from region weather, okay? But you also notice all these gray, shadings on the map right there, okay? Those are all air quality alerts, all right? So this poor air you've got out your window right now that you're probably outside in today, you can smell the smoke around. I mean, it's back. But we're not alone. It stretches all the way from Montana all the way down towards the southern half of the Hoosier State and then out towards the East Coast as well, all right? So our air quality right now, this is the latest reading. We're sitting at an unhealthy for sensitive groups, so we're around 134. You probably got used to these numbers during that last week stretch that we had. Gosh, what was that? Almost a month ago now? Maybe not quite. But the AQI is air quality index. And when it gets up above 150, that's when it's really nasty outside. We've been flirting with that today, but you can see we're at 134 right now, and it's not good anywhere across the Great Lakes. You notice how it's worse downstate, down towards Indianapolis areas. This air quality will continue to be poor as we go throughout the day tomorrow. I want to show you the latest trend right now. And again, my internet, we have the fastest internet. It's a gig speed, but in my little studio here, I must have too many walls because it acts like it's 1990. So that's just, so thank you for bearing with me in terms of some of these, slow. And I know I cut in and out every now and then. I can't do anything about it. I probably could. But here's our trend throughout the day in Valpo. We've had this as we go throughout the daytime tomorrow. So here's your smoke. Okay, this is your wildfire smoke coming in from Canada. This isn't from fires in southern Ontario like it was last time. Last time it was these fires up here with a northeast wind and a north wind that would bring that smoke in. This kind of collected from fires way out towards the west in areas of Alberta, Saskatchewan as well, and Vancouver, out towards Vancouver. And I mean, look at all the smoke that kind of built up, and then it all kind of built up, and then it finally got moving again. So there's a big plume of it, and that's all coming into the central half of the country in the Great Lakes. So where does it go from here? I think that's the big question. Does this air improve? This is tonight. You see the bulk of that plumes through here. This is tomorrow morning. So we're still in that wildfire smoke. It's still going to be hazy, poor air quality tomorrow as well. So not a windows open kind of night, not that you're planning on it. But notice throughout the day tomorrow, that plume starts to move east. So this is by tomorrow evening, we should see improving conditions. One thing about the modeling, it doesn't always handle the clear out part of it very well. So we may still, especially in some of the valleys or areas where there's a lot of buildings where it takes a while for that smoke to disperse, we'll still probably be dealing with some haze tomorrow evening as well, despite the fact the modeling says we completely clear out. But as we get into Tuesday, we've got a really nice day on Tuesday, and I was worried last week that our nice day on Tuesday would be ruined by some atmospheric smoke. It looks like it all gets out of here. So that's some really good news, is that plume, that particular wave of atmospheric smoke will clear out. We'll have a little bit of haze moving in here later this week. This isn't a big deal, though. And this would be Wednesday and the Thursday. So a little bit of haze, but nothing like what we're seeing right now. So that's the good news, is that we'll have improving conditions on our air quality. Not tonight, though, and really not tomorrow for the bulk of the day. It's really towards evening tomorrow, and then tomorrow night where we'll start to clear things out at a noticeable level. Okay. So Martin, I see your comment. No outdoor run tomorrow. No, buddy. If you want to keep those lungs moving, yeah. Well, do lungs move? I guess they move. Anyway, yeah, you want to stay inside tomorrow, Martin, just to be safe. Now, can we get outside and walk around, do stuff like that? Yeah, you'll be okay. It's going to be just like right now. Okay, air quality is not going to be great, but you can get outside and walk around. I wouldn't recommend running where you're breathing in, you know, crazy amounts of oxygen, getting it out. Okay. So, so that's that. All right. Next thing I want to screen right now, it's just this real deep trough is going to kick off some showers and thunderstorms as we get on the day tomorrow. Now, the big question is, does this trough that's moving in from the north, does that kick off storms over us, or does it kick off storms down to our south and the east? Okay, so here's the latest modeling. Let's get into the forecast portion of this broadcast. You notice tonight, we've had some storms down to the south. They've been going pretty good down towards Indianapolis. They've had a couple severe thunderstorms some warnings with that. But here comes our front. And this is a pretty potent front. The thing is, it doesn't really connect with a lot of Gulf of Mexico moisture or have a lot of lift initially. So as this front is moving through tomorrow, is it going to spark widespread showers and thunderstorms? It doesn't look like it, but do we have a chance of storms tomorrow? We certainly do. Some of those could turn potent quickly too, but it's just not a real widespread chance. So isolated storms to scattered storms is the best we're going to do tomorrow. Some of those could be on the strong side. Here's what the latest HERS doing, and you notice how everything kind of develops. This is mid-afternoon. This is like early to mid-afternoon. We'll start to pop some storms, and then they're all east of here, and then they really start to get organized as they get out towards the east into Ohio. But for us, you know, we're going to be right on that line, and this isn't going to be one of those days tomorrow where the storms are developing west of us, where we see them coming. They'll be developing over us. So we'll just need to be weather aware tomorrow, as you know, we have been quite a few times over the last week or so, where we'll have to watch some of these storms as they develop. I don't think everyone gets wet tomorrow. I think a lot of places will end up dry, but those storms will be popping over us anytime from early afternoon into mid-afternoon before they move on out, okay? So in the potentials there, some of them could be on the strong side. Then eventually that heads east, and notice everything's kind of around us on Tuesday. Tuesday looks to be an awesome day, that wildfire smoke clearing out, okay? So where do we go from there? Well, let's go long term here. We could still use some rainfall. The rain was very scattered around here as we went through the weekend. Some of us picked up a ton of rain. Some of us didn't pick up much at all, and that's how it goes in the summertime. So I saw the question. Julie asked, are we still in the drought? We are, Julie. We will get an update, Julie, on Thursday with the latest drought monitor. That takes everything into consideration through Monday night, so tomorrow night. So I would imagine we're still going to be in a drought. There is going to be some improvement, especially eastern Porter County and western LaPorte County. Those areas picked up 2.5 to 3 inches of rain from just thunderstorms that sat yesterday. Remember those storms that came off the lake? They really rang out some rain in those locations. So we'll see some patchy improvement around the region. I don't think we'll see anything get worse because we've got some pretty good rain. But yeah, we still are in the drought. So we could use some rain. Here's the problem. We are going to go pretty dry as it looks right now over the long term. So this is Tuesday. Notice we're dry. As we get into Wednesday, there'll be some kind of cluster storms down to our southwest. It does look to stay there as of right now. You know, could we get some rain off of that? Maybe, but I think it's too late for the models to change on that solution because they're pretty good agreement right now. Our next shot at rain would be on Thursday. The Euro's not too impressed with it. This is going to be a frontal boundary, so we'll start to heat up again by Thursday. We'll start to bring in some humidity again by Thursday, and that will spark some showers and thunderstorms. But this one looks kind of similar to the one that's passing tomorrow, where everything kind of develops probably over us and then moves out. So it doesn't look like anything too organized at this point. But Thursday would be our next shot at rain. And then we clear things out again for the weekend as it looks right now. You know, there's, as always this time of year, there's some kind of rain around. The Euro swings the frontal boundary through here with an isolated chance of rain on Saturday. But as of right now, most of the modeling indicating we have a nice dry weekend, and then we get this clearing front. And look at this. There's no rain anywhere in the eastern half of the country, pretty much. A couple little chances with ocean breeze boundaries down in the Carolinas. But this really looks to be a very dry pattern and kind of a cool pattern as we get into the beginning of next week. As we bring a big trough in the eastern half of the country. So, and by cool this time of year, I mean like 70s and low 80s, all right? So not like 50s, 60s or anything like that. But we go pretty dry, all right? So that's the main point. So I'll leave you at that. In terms of temperatures this week, I've got us in the low 80s Monday, tomorrow, low 80s on Tuesday, so much more comfortable as we go into Tuesday. Tomorrow's still going to be a little bit humid before that dry air works in. Tomorrow night, we get drier air. It'll be more comfortable. Tuesday, more comfortable as well, low 80s. And then we're talking, I got us in the mid 80s on Wednesday. I have us in the upper 80s to near 90 on Thursday. Remember, out ahead of that next chance of rain. So hot, humidity comes back. And then Friday, we're back down in the mid 80s and then probably low 80s as it looks right now on Saturday. So that's my forecast sheet. That's what I do them on. Okay. And that is the official forecast, not from weather.com, from regionweather.com. Just kidding. It's all automated. I just have to change numbers and figure it out for myself. Okay, so that's it. So if you guys have any questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you. Again, I appreciate you taking time out of your Sunday evening in the summer. We usually have a huge family watching in the winter because there's nothing else to do, but I really appreciate you because there's a million other things you could be doing right now. So I appreciate you spending some time with me talking weather. And again, I hope you get something out of this, okay? This isn't for me, this is for you. So I hope you go into this week knowing, hey, that's why my app's saying this, or this is the day that could change, or thanks for explaining that. My app doesn't tell me when the smoke's going to clear out. So that's that, okay? All right, let's see. Mark says, Mark, thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel as well. I appreciate that. And guys, we can almost go live on YouTube. I don't mean through this, but like just solely. You have to have like a certain number of likes and follows on there to do that. And we're getting close. I know we are, which was never the goal, but it's great. So Mark says, hope to spend time riding next week. Can you keep it under 80? Mark, that's really tough to do this time. Our average high is around 85. So under 80 means it's a cold air mass, but we do have a couple shots at under 80. One of them, I think, was Saturday. The Euro was saying 79. So we'll see what we can do in terms of that. Jen, no problem. I'd be happy to catch you up. And you guys can always rewatch the broadcast, but I don't want you to do that. So she says, I think I missed the smoke part. Is that going to last a while longer? Jen, it's not. So we're getting a plume out of Western Canada right now. It's coming in like this, and it's going to move out like that pretty quickly. So tonight, poor air quality sticks around. Tomorrow, poor air quality sticks around. It's still going to be hazy and smell like burning fires outside. But by tomorrow evening, we should start to see some improvement. And by tomorrow night and Tuesday, it should be mainly out of here. We'll have a little lingering haze, but nothing compared to what we have right now when our air quality is unhealthy for sensitive groups or poor, just downright poor. Okay. Maxwell asked a good question. You think we've had our peak in severe weather season? Maxwell, that's a good question. Maxwell, I don't. So the way it goes, it's typically July, we have some kind of spike in severe weather, all right? And that's the pattern we just got into. Anytime we fall into that pattern, if you go back and rewatch it, it's probably 3 weeks ago on Region Weather Live, we're getting into a pattern that is conducive for severe weather chances, all right? And we hadn't been in that yet for the spring or early summer. And so that pattern where you have the dome of heat in the central plains and you have the showers and storms that rotate around it, that ring of fire pattern, that's how we get our severe weather this time of year. And then as we transition into fall, which is still a way off, we'll start to get more potent fronts with colder air out of the north, and that's how we get severe weather then. But Maxwell, I don't think we're out of it yet in terms of summertime severe weather. Typically, jet stream relaxes a little bit into August and September, but I don't think we're done yet. I have a feeling that pattern will come back at least, I would say at least one more time this summer, whether that be late July or early August, where we get multiple days of these clusters of storms. So I don't think we're done yet, but it does look to relax a little bit. So that's the good news. Melissa, you're welcome for sure. Jen, you're welcome as well. Mark, you're absolutely welcome. I'm glad you appreciated the live updates last week. Yeah, that was, I'm telling you, that new software, it's everything I've had in the weather studio, which is hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's unbelievable how much these huge weather systems cost for TV stations, right? It takes a lot of that and it puts it, I've got the software for it on my computer, which is awesome. I've never been able to do that. There's great software out there and, we use a lot of maps and stuff like that. But boy, that technology is right from the studio, which is awesome. Karen, you're welcome. No problem. Maxwell, you're welcome as well. All right, guys, I'm going to let you go. Enjoy your Sunday evening. Again, I appreciate it. We'll be back with you. Oh, that's okay. Jacob's asking. Jacob just hopped in. I'm so late. He says, what's the weather going to be like? Jacob, let's do this I'll do a Reader's Digest version. This will be real quick for you, Jacob. This is probably how everyone wants these broadcasts to go. All right, so Jacob, we've got wildfire smoke right now. It's nasty outside. The air is just hazy and full of wildfire smoke from Western Canada this time. Tomorrow, we're going to have more haze around, poor air quality. that air quality gets better on Tuesday, Monday night into Tuesday. In terms of storm chances, we do have some storms that are possible tomorrow. There'll be a frontal boundary coming through. It will start popping storms right over northwest Indiana. Anytime, I would say lunchtime onward, we'll have to keep an eye to the skies. Not everyone's going to get rain tomorrow. It's going to be isolated to scattered at best. This is stuff that will pop over us and develop as it moves east. So we're kind of on the leading edge of it, or the young stage of these thunderstorms. Threats there, we could have a strong storm or two. It's possible, doesn't mean we will, but the threat's there. Front goes by, we turn less humid tomorrow night. You'll notice it by Tuesday. Tuesday's a great day. We stay dry all the way through Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday, isolated chance of storms as another frontal boundary comes in. It gets hot on Thursday, and then we're back to quiet weather for the weekend as it looks right now. Okay? That's it. I hope that helped. All right, guys. Have a wonderful Sunday night. We'll be with you again this week, okay? All right. Thanks again.